Hey everyone! Welcome back. I am back today with more Kamen Rider Saber, you guys. I cannot wait to see what we have coming for us on this show. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you at this point. It's gotten so crazy. So if you're joining me early today, you know just what that means. It means you are one of my awesome patrons. Thank you so much, and as always, I'm sending up those big old hugs right through that screen. And if not, still thank you for joining me today. I'm glad you're here. I do hope you'll consider supporting me that way. The link to my Patreon is going to be in the description down below. So, all right, what to say about last time? Because honestly, even like before the end of the episode was pretty intense. We had just kind of, I don't want to say the culmination, but kind of did feel like the culmination of a lot of what's been going on between particularly Touma and Rintaro, because at this point we have Daishinji and Ogami already jumped ship to come and join Touma's side. Ren, I feel like, is really on the fence, and especially in light of everything that happened at the end of last episode, I imagine like all it's gonna take is like a nod from Kento and he's just gonna be like on board with Touma, if Kento is still Kento, which I'll get to that. But, you know, Rintaro, I think, is the one who's the most torn on this, because we saw last episode just how strongly he feels for Touma, which was so sweet, by the way. I love their, like, little impromptu love confession, and my heart is all I'm going to say. Just my heart exploded. But, you know, he also does have this deeply rooted loyalty to the Sword of Logos, and while he's not stupid, you know, I think it would just hurt him so deeply to have to really start thinking critically about what's going on, because of that attachment. And I get that, but at the same time, like, he's also very attached to Touma. And again, he's just like, he's a smart guy. You know, he's not just going to blindly follow when he clearly sees that some things are going wrong, but he's just having such a hard time coming forth about that. Okay, so let's get to... Oh, before I get to that, I will say Kamen Rider Saber, which I guess is her Kamen Rider name, is gorgeous. Love the kind of like butterfly moth thing that she has going. I feel like I had heard at some point she might become a rider, but I still have to just tip my hat to the way in which they've kept every design so unique on this show, particularly since we have so many different riders. And one thing I'll say also about Reika / Sabella is that I am kind of wondering now if she was manipulated by Master Logos, if maybe she isn't really bad, if you want to call it that. But we'll see. We'll see on that, because there's been a lot of back and forth on that in the comments about like who's really in the wrong here. And we still really know very little about Master Logos, the current Master Logos. So on to the real big twist of the episode, which a lot of us saw coming, but there's still so many questions about it, is that Kento is the new Caliber. Kento is back. I'm a little concerned because it seems like Kento has shown up to help Touma quite a few times, like help protect people from Primitive Dragon and things like that. But at the same time, like, you know, what Yuri was saying, what are his real intentions? You know, was he protecting people from Primitive Dragon, or was he helping Touma, or was he both? Like, is he still Kento? Is he, you know, kind of like, I mean, it's very hard to tell. Like, is he still really the Kento we knew, or isn't he? One thing I also want to clear up is that I was like, pretty convinced by the end of last episode that the little boy was little boy Kento. And I had even said this, I think, earlier in the reaction, or like in a different reaction. I'm like, oh no, it couldn't be little boy Kento because he'd recognize him. So yeah, it couldn't be little boy Kento. So we don't know who the little boy is. But he's got an important role to play, I think. And I know it's closely linked with the little picture that Sora was drawing. Honestly, I think Sora should be the next Master Logos. Like, once we get this whole thing straightened out with current Master Logos and boot him out or whatever we need to do, Sora has been, like, so on top of it this whole time. I love Sora. So I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know how they're going to handle this. I would love it if it was just a straight up, like, Kento's back, everything's great. You know, Ren would easily jump on board if Kento was back. Depending on what Kento knows, maybe even Rintaro could be swayed. I have no idea. But you guys, there's one way to find out, and that is to jump into the next episode of Kamen Rider Saber. Let's go. Alright, you guys. What the heck? This series was pretty dark to begin with. I mean, I would say we definitely have been, like, at an intensity level that's pretty high throughout the whole series. I'm very worried about Touma. Before I even get into the Kento stuff, I will say that I'm very worried about Touma. Touma's been through a lot. Physically, mentally. And through all of it, he just keeps pushing forward, just wanting to do nothing but help and save people and save his friends, protect the world. And I feel like I'm afraid this is going to break him. Speaking of breaking people, oh my God. I know, you just know. I knew when they did that, like, final shot with Kento with the red eyes. Like, you just know, like, you have this feeling like he's going to come back corrupt or he's going to have been in some kind of hellscape or something. And I think the way that they are doing it is genius. Because honestly, you could have had him like, oh, he's... we even knew about the previous Caliber. It wasn't even so much that, like, oh, being Caliber made him corrupt. It was not that simple. It was not that cut and dry. But I feel like by not having him, you know, just simply be like, bad Kento, corrupt Kento, like, no. This is not as simple as we can flip a switch and he remembers who he is and he's back. He knows who he is. He knows the promise he made. He has watched these people he cares about suffer and die over and over and over with, like, no hope. And this is the broken shell of Kento that is left. When he's looking at Touma now, I don't even know if he feels anything. I feel like he probably just feels like he's looking at a ghost. Which is so much more horrifying than he's bad. He got corrupted. He's Caliber, and that's messing with his mind. And if we can get through to him, if we can reach him, no, it's so much worse than that, guys. It's so much worse than that. So yeah, so Daishinji's blade is gone. I mean, it's not gone, but it's dead. And for someone like Daishinji, who, like, his life is just the tech aspect of putting all of that together. This has been passed. We know, like, all the swordsmen have their reasons, and they're very important. But in Daishinji's case, like, this has been passed down. This is not even just about him. And to just see his blade getting sealed, that scream, I'll tell you what. The actors on the show are killing it. They're friggin' killing it. Touma, you can just read his face so well. His emotion comes through. He doesn't have to say anything. Kento, you can see the, like, death in his eyes. Ren, when he had that just blood-curdling scream when Kento died. Daishinji, I mean, they were just all killing it. They're all killing it. I don't know, like, what kind of awards they give out for a show like this, but dang, this whole show and the actors should all, like, win some awards. I'm telling you, it's like top notch. It's top notch. And I love Kamen Rider in general, but they're really going so far beyond what I know from the series I've seen of the formula so far. Don't get me wrong. I love the series I've seen, and I think they have gone to some really great emotional heights and depths. But I feel like this is just on a whole other level. So I will point out that even though the flashes were going by quick I'll have to go back and like watch them in more detail, but when we saw Kento living all of those realities over and over, like, I mean, Luna was there in one of them, Sophia was there in one of them. This isn't just, I mean, he's seen seemingly every possible scenario. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so now we know Tassel is Victor. So we kind of knew from that little drawing that we saw from a few episodes back. Many of you pointed out to me, because I actually missed it the first time, you could kind of tell Tassel by the hair, but a few of the other ones looked like some of the bad Megiddo guys, and they were the bad Megiddo guys. So we had Tassel, we had the first Master Logos, and we had the 3 bad Megiddo guys. And they were like the founders, I guess. So it kind of sounds like Master Logos is after the same thing as the Megiddos. So is there like seriously only one good one left, and that's Tassel? Well, it sounds like the first Master Logos was good. I'd be very curious to know what happened to him. Because this current Master Logos is like, nah, I didn't sign up for, I think he was complacent and a fool and whatever. I didn't sign up for that. So I'd be very curious to know, like, how did this come about? Like, what did the other Master Logos die? Did this Master Logos do something to him? Can we get him back? I wonder if that'll be like a big twist somewhere down the road. What else? So the person connecting the 2 worlds in that drawing, so we know that person's Luna, right? She's the girl who connects the worlds. Kind of looked like Sophia, but I feel like some people pointed out, like, no, Luna and Sophia couldn't be the same person. I forget now because mine's just like dust in the wind, but what the details on that were. But it really does make you wonder, because I know that was kind of a theory, but then I feel like some people were like, no, here's some reasons why that couldn't be. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you where they're going with all this. I feel like the plot, the intensity, the emotion is all like so far beyond anything that I ever expected, that like I cannot predict for anything on the show. So I'm sure I'll have more to say next time, because there was a lot in there, and I know like once we've kind of chatted it out and I've had some time to kind of digest it and everything, I'll probably have hopefully a little bit more insight. But wow, guys, wow. They're just dragging me through the mud here. They're dragging all of us through the mud. The show is so dark. Oh my God. If I was a kid watching this, I would be like shattered. I don't know how kids are watching this and like not just like freaking out. But anywho, I mean, it's never just been for kids, you know what I mean? Especially Kamen Rider, I feel like they can pull off some stuff. All right, guys, I'm just gonna rant if I go on. So I just say I enjoyed it. Would be so bizarre. I'm very invested. I'm hooked. I got a lot out of it. And I hope you enjoyed watching along with me. So you guys, as always, thank you so much for joining me today. Please be sure to join me next time, and we will watch it, get through it, all of the above together. Bye for now, guys.